right. We have a great guest today. Sherry, thank you for joining me.
Hi, Ebony. Thank you for having me.
No problem. This is my second podcast slash YouTube video with a guest, and I'm so excited that you agreed to be on here with me. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is because, like I talked about a little bit before we started recording, I know, we've known of each other,
Yes,
work together,
yes,
for over a year now. And I know you also have a lot going on, but you managed to make time for both of the business ventures that you have while
yes,
you work and maintain your wellness. And I think
yes.
that optimally, and not that it always happens perfectly or exactly the way you want it to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it happens. And I think
Yes,
that's what a lot of people
yes.
miss, is that it happens. It's not going to look perfect, it's not going to look pretty all the time, but it
Mm-hmm.
happens. You implement, you execute, and you get it done. So that's why I wanted to talk to you and just have you, also share, your tips and tricks on how you're doing that. So before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am a registered nurse for over 26 years. The last 15 have been in the ICU, which I love, love, love. And right now I kind of pivoted a little bit, which is okay. I'm 50, we could pivot. And in 2021, I started my nonprofit in the Central Florida area, Legacy Launchers Inc., which we provide media arts, music production, performance production, culinary arts, fashion for underserved children between the ages of 14 to 17-year-old that don't have access to these programs. And also, health and wellness is dear to my heart, and especially when the pandemic hit, and I was seeing how many Black and Brown people were affected by that, and most of it was because they had chronic illnesses that could be curtailed by modifiable lifestyle changes. So for me, it was important to start educating my community. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that the nonprofit part. And then in November of last year, I decided to have Ask Nurse Sherry, because people are always coming to me and asking me about health and wellness and how do I do it and how can I maintain all this stuff. And I said that'd be great. And in addition, I still help mentor younger nurses. I really am passionate about teaching and educating about anything health, wellness, and nursing. So that's what Ask Nurse Sherry is about.
Yay. I know before we connected via Michelle, I don't know if we were Facebook friends. I feel like, you just be like, oh, we in nursing groups together. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Did you used to post when you rode your bike around? Was that in
yes,
the
I
group or was that on
did.
your personal page?
That was on my personal page, but yes, I did
Okay,
that.
yeah. So we were Facebook friends, and I would always see, because I rode bikes too, and I would always see,
Yes.
your posts, and it would just always inspire me whenever I was like, oh, I really feel like doing this. To nope, Sherry did it today. She did like 20
Yes.
miles. Let me get on
Yep.
out of here.
Yeah. That's my go-to. That's my minimum. Like if I need to get a quick ride in, I'll do 20. And then on my longer days when I have I'm in two bike groups. So one with
Mhm.
my personal girlfriends, and they do probably, I don't know, 35, 40. And then the other ones, they're like superstars. They're like, hey, can you join us for a 50 or 100-mile ride today? I'm like, wow. Okay. Yeah. Let me think on that and I'll get back to you.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. No, but I used to see you with your post, like, girl, go
Yeah.
ahead, put your Strava on and go get
Yes.
it.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that was like the first I remember, like, of my interactions with you. So tell me, how do you manage, your life? Because to me, time management implementation really and truly, first and foremost, is life management. You have
Mm.
to be aware of yourself, what you have to do, what you have time to do, all of those things. So how do you manage that? How does time management and implementation play a part in your life?
What you said, lifestyle, it is so you can't manage your life without time. And it can't just be, okay, I got to go to work and come home and that's it. You'll never get the things that you want to accomplish done. So, and it's funny because I gave a speech about this last month but I live by it, and it's PFE: plan, focus, execute. Well, actually, focus,
Mm,
plan, and execute. So I put everything in my calendar. Everything does not get done. My schedule is crazy, ridiculous, but the priority things for me, and to me, health and wellness, that's self-care. That's
mhm,
important to me. That's just as important as getting up in the morning and praying and meditating. So that's a
mhm.
must do. So on my days off, because my schedule's a little bit thicker now, I it's a automatically I wake up, meditate, boom, the gym. And even if I have to cut it short, like this morning I had to cut it 15 minutes short because I had a 4-hour class to go to, it's still on the calendar. And I think we just have to be intentional about our time and how we plan our life.
Girl, yes, because let me tell you, you know what? And I think although, and this is just a side note, although, like you said, you live it same, but I'm always, number one, I always need to remind myself of these things. It's not, and even, it's funny, I know it, I live it, I teach it, but we all need reminders. It's so many, just so
Mm-hmm.
much going on, so many things to remember, so many things to implement, so many things to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I always find myself needing a reminder, like because I work out in the afternoons. I want to start doing like some cardio in the morning and then my strength resistance training in the afternoon.
I like that.
But so I'm like, but I need to get up in the morning. And me, I'm like, I'm learning not to be like so hard like how I used to be. You know how they say how you used to be before doesn't always serve you now. I'm in one
Mm-hmm.
of them spaces where, trying to force things don't work for me anymore. I'm not about that forced life. I want
Mm-hmm.
I need structure, but I need a fluid structure, if that makes any sense. And
Yes.
so you just kind of, and I've told myself I need to get up at least 2 times. I'm not trying to like every day. It's not gonna happen. Two
Mm-hmm.
mornings out the week, I need to get up. And well, I'll get up to however many days, I want to get up to. I feel like I will just have a minimum when it's all said and done, because I don't do well with putting like strict concrete deadlines on myself, because I'm like a black or
Mm-hmm.
white girl. So when I
Yeah.
put strict concrete stuff on me, if I fall off by a millimeter, I'm done. So I can't
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that. But I'm gonna look at my schedule and like write down probably like the 2 best mornings. So
Yes.
I thank you for that, because I'm going to schedule that, because I typically schedule my afternoon workouts, but I'm going to just need to write in when I'm getting up to do that too, just so my night routine can reflect what I need to
Yes.
do the next morning. So I thank you for that tidbit. I needed that. I hope somebody else picked that up too, but I needed
Yes.
that myself. So how do you find pockets of time for your wellness, in addition to, I know you talked about, the working out, the meditation, the devotionals, all being part of self-care, which I definitely agree. But how do you find other pockets of time for your wellness throughout your day?
Okay. Well, for me, I actually, even when I have to go to work, I schedule in my breaks. Usually, if things run kind of normal, that happens. Of course, I work in the ICU, and somebody might decide they want to call on my break, and that's
Right.
fine. And I'll take care of that. But as soon as that's done, I let them know, no, I'm going to take my break. I'm going to take 15 minutes. I
Mhm.
actually, because I'm really big on affirmations. And I just believe that when you consistently read or listen to your affirmations, especially in your own voice, that it tricks the subconscious as believing it's already completed. So, and I
Mm.
heard this on a YouTube video. I want to say it's from the girl that put the 12-week year thing on Notion.
Mhm.
But she said she listens to, she has this app, Parrot. It could be on Apple or Android. I have an Android, so I was able to download it. And I actually recorded my affirmations, and I actually plug into my phone. Like when I get up in the morning after my meditation, I listen to them. They are probably maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Mine are long. Yours don't have to be that long. And they suggest most people's aren't that long. But I'm not the type of person, I can't just focus on business or just focus on love, because I believe that our life encompasses all of that.
Mhm.
So it's just hard for me. Of course, some areas just require more focus than others, but I'm focusing it on all of it. It's just they might be in the periphery. And I actually record my affirmations, and in my calendar on my phone at 3 p.m. I stop. I go into the bathroom and listen to it for 5 minutes. At 6 p.m. I stop. and going to the bathroom for 5 more minutes. So I actually schedule everything. I have an alarm that goes off every hour on the hour. Everybody that knows me always, oh my God, you drink a gallon of water a day. I actually drink closer to two. When you count in my smoothie, that's about 30 ounces. Yep, that's it. I got one similar right down
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Yep. So, so I keep my water close, and and then these days I'm so busy, my body is just, I'm 50. I don't know what it is, but I'm needing a Celsius now. So by the time I drink that and a cup of coffee, it's closer to 2
Mhm.
gallons of fluid a day.
Look, and side note, and I'm not a doctor, not saying what people should take or not. I watch a YouTuber. Her name is I've not ever traditionally been like a YouTube vlog,
Mhm.
type of person. But when I found that I was perimenopausal, and I was looking for ways, because like we talked about before we started recording, everybody's body is different.
Mhm.
And what somebody else might have been able to do to manage their peri situation, I felt like my body was like, girl, we need to figure out what Ebony needs. And so I
Mhm.
started watching all of these like wellness and fitness vloggers or whatever. And one in particular, I watch a lot of Janet Delmahina. I like her. And
Mm.
one of her most recent episodes, you would like her too, actually. I think you would like her. Look her up. And she talked about how she started adding, because like I'm not on medications, but I was advised to take a vitamin D because I was
Mm.
slightly vitamin D deficient. So I take a vitamin D and a multivitamin. And so she was talking about how she had blood work done, and so she added like magnesium, but she added a B complex vitamin. And I was like, because I'm kind of like you. I like at 2 o'clock, I don't know, I start slowing down. It
Mhm.
don't matter how much sleep I get, how much water I drink. I eat, pretty
Mhm.
much whole foods all day. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on top of all of that, not eating a ton of, the complex carbs and, simple
Yes.
carbs and nothing like that. And so I was like, a B vitamin. And I'm very like impulsive in some things. So I already had to go to the market yesterday morning. I'm looking up, they have different types of B complex. So I picked the one that said energy. I took that thing yesterday, and I'm telling you, it was 7 o'clock PM and I was still rocking and rolling, like, and not like a
Ooh.
jittery type of situation,
Right,
but
but just
it
good.
was cellular. I felt it, like I like literally when I first took it, and I think I'm sensitive to taking like pills and everything. Like the first time I take something, even when the vitamin D, I didn't feel hard, I didn't feel bad, I just felt different.
Mhm.
And yesterday when I took it, I felt different. So I already was expecting that. Today I took it, I didn't feel any different, than
Mhm.
I feel any other day. But I'm more energized. I feel woke. I feel,
Yes.
clear. It's not like that. It's just a consistent energy throughout the day. So yeah, it was a B complex vitamin that I added. And I'm like, yep, it's here to stay. I'm gonna keep taking that because that is,
I may have to try that because
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I know part of it is like you said, no matter how much sleep you get, my body is usually, unless I'm super fatigued, I'm up after 6 hours. I'll set it
Mm-hmm.
on the weekends for 8. I kind of lay in the bed, but I'm not really sleeping. But it may be because I get up so early in the morning, so by 2, 3 o'clock, I'm just like, oh God,
Mm-hmm.
I need a nap.
Yeah.
And that's usually when I take my lunch at work because I already know my body's going down. So I'm like, let me take my lunch, take a
Yes.
break, drink a Celsius, and so I could come back rejuvenated for the rest of the day. So yeah, that's true. I'm gonna try that though.
Yeah, no, that worked for me. And you said something else too um that I think is important to point out, is that you're aware of your cycles and
Hmm.
your how you flow, and when your energy is high, when your energy is low. And I think that
Yes.
that's important to know, because like like when I teach people, sometimes what we perceive as, talking that negative self-talk to yourself, you're lazy, you're a slacker,
Hmm.
I talk to myself like that too at times, even though I know I shouldn't, but I do.
Yeah,
But
me
sometimes that
too.
stuff is really, you're tired, you need to
Hmm.
rest, you need to eat, you need more water, it's not.
Hmm.
And we automatically always, I don't know why, not always, some of us sometimes,
Yes.
just go to those places. And I think that we should definitely pay more attention to the rhythms of our bodies and what's actually going on instead of being so hard on ourselves.
Yes. And plan our time around it. No, you're right. I used to do that until one day when I was talking to my doctor about it, because my doctor in New Jersey was also a metabolic specialist, which was awesome because when he ordered my lab work, he was checking all my mineral levels and all of that, where you normally go for your yearly physical. They're just checking your CBC, CMP. Of course, my medical people know what I'm talking about, your basic stuff. They
Mm-hmm.
don't really go in depth. And he's checking thyroid and all these different minerals I never heard of, that it comes in a multivitamin. If you read the back of it, you would see it all on there. He's ordering all those levels. And that's what made me start realizing, okay. And he said, because I told him, well, he said, well, tell me about your day. And I was telling him, he's like, I'm exhausted just listening to your day. He says, but if you're sitting down and you're asleep, you're
Mm-hmm.
not watching TV, you're not chilling, you're not reading, you're literally, your body is asleep. You're not being lazy, you're not procrastinating. You are actually tired. And
Mm-hmm.
that means your body just needs rest and you can't go on. Because that would happen. And I'd still beat myself up like, oh my God, I can't believe I fell asleep. But my body was just so tired, it just stopped. It just
Mm-hmm.
dropped off. So
Mm-hmm.
it made me start being cognizant. And, definitely he would preach sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene, you
Yes.
got to get rest. He says, because that's what happens. He said, that's a precursor to illness.
Mm-hmm.
When you're sitting down and all of a sudden you're falling asleep, and before you know it, that's just signs that your body's so tired, you're going to start breaking down at a cellular level. Then you're going to start seeing it in other areas. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. No, I just wanted to point that out because I think, you know, and I'm going to do it, even though I know that, I'm aware of
Yes.
it. You know what I mean? I think it's the human nature of such to have that and to do that. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also, I feel like the more you are, the more aware of it you are, and the more you practice
Mm-hmm.
doing, kind of like stopping that in its track and reframing that and shifting that to a more positive space, the
Yeah.
less time you'll spend in that space. You're gonna go there. You're gonna
Oh,
go
of
there.
course. Mm-hmm.
Is natural. But the time you spend there will be shorter because you're just more aware and you have experience, and you're practicing it. So I just wanted to, because I love that, because I talk about a lot about that too. Like I feel like I have various time zones of the day when I work best. Some people like I work better in the morning. Some people work better, at 10 o'clock. I have, spurts where it's like, if I don't do anything at this time, okay, I know secondarily,
Mm-hmm.
I will feel, I'm gonna get a jolt around, like
This
my
time.
peak hours, like in the evening, is like, 4:30 to 7. I'd be like, on now. If it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'm like, I can do stuff, but it can't be stuff where I need to think.
Exactly. And that's how I make my schedule. Like, when I have these highs, that's for important tasks and thinking tasks. And then like in towards the evening, I'll do my meal prep, anything that I'm more active. I don't have to think about, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sitting. So I'm more likely won't just fall asleep.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about overwhelm. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, having a hard time focusing, what do you do? How do you get yourself out of that?
Ooh, and that's so funny you mentioned that. I just realized, I didn't realize it. I have another coach and a personal development coach, and we had to write down 16 areas of our lives. And my personal satisfaction was a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. It was that and my money. And I was like,
Mm,
what's going on here? And I realized I was overwhelmed. So what I did is I literally took a couple of hours the next morning. Normally I'm doing stuff and I says, I need to refocus. And I looked at my schedule and figured out, what's gonna, what can I eliminate for now? And
mm,
what, the things that I have to attend to now, and asking for help. I think as women, that's a big thing for us. We are taught to be super women. We're the
mhm.
mothers, the wives, the cooks, the nurses at home and at work. We're everything. And then we're nothing to ourselves.
Yes.
So I
Mhm.
had to
Mhm.
start loving on Cher a little bit more and start saying, babe, could you help with this? Could you help with that? Because, I can't do everything. And, telling certain things, unless it was important, I let my family know that, that right now, this whole year, I'm in a season of change and growth. So unless it's an
Mm.
emergency, don't even ask, because the answer is going to automatically be no. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it's going to be no, because I cannot overwhelm myself. My
Yes.
schedule is overwhelming me, and I can't add yours to the lot. So you have to, and an emergency is if you're sick or in the hospital. If somebody
Mhm.
died, that can wait because I can't resurrect them. So that's no longer an
Right.
emergency. So
Yep.
yeah, that's how I
Yep.
deal with
No.
it.
I love that. No, I'm telling you, I recently, maybe in towards the end of last year, I told my husband and my son the same thing. I had, look, come gather hither and listen. Like, listen. If on a Sunday, when I ask you what's important, is it something that you need me to help at? What must I attend? If I don't get the answers that I need by Sunday, don't ask me.
Exactly.
Don't ask me to do nothing. The answer is no. Because
Hmm.
once I set my schedule, and now I have white space in there for myself. But I don't
Exactly.
have white space in there for, if not, there's nothing else built in for anybody else once I'm set. And
Hmm.
because I was famous for breaking my boundaries for them. You know what I mean? Oh, it's
Mm.
my husband. Oh, it's my son. So and now I'm doing stuff for you, and what I want to do is not getting done. And now I'm pissed. And now I'm
Yep.
mad. And now on top of not getting done when I got done, I'm mad. And I
Hmm.
realized that I was starting this resentment was starting to build. And
Hmm.
we all know that's never a good thing.
Nope.
And so I really had to tell them, like, and I think too, like you said, as women, as moms, we are kind of taught, it's kind of like the unspoken rule a lot of times, that you
Hmm.
do all the things. So my identity for so long was tied up in, I'm the wife that makes the husband lunch all the time, every day, and I
Hmm.
make all of this stuff, and I cook all the stuff, make everything homemade, and you always got everything. And for a long time, I felt like if I did not do that, then it was like a knock to who I was. And I
Yes.
had to really do a lot of self work on myself to say that's not even it. Like, none of that
Hmm.
stuff that you do is really a characteristic of who you are as a person, and what you might
Exactly.
deserve or don't deserve based upon what you do or you don't do. And once I let that
Yep.
go, once I let that
Hmm.
go, it was a game changer. But
Yes.
yeah, I had to sit and tell them that, because also I had conditioned them that they can
Yes.
just harp and dump on
Hmm.
me in the last minute, in the last moment, and that I would just do it. And I was
Yes.
like, I ain't doing myself any favors either by
Hmm.
always being available. So it's like, I'm not, while I am always available, I'm like, like you said, there are conditions on that availability based on what I want to
Hmm.
do, what I've decided to do, and what I need to do. So yeah, I think the whole balance, and I think I like what you said too about the unfocusedness and the overwhelm, is you put a boundary on yourself. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You was like, oh no, I have overreached.
Yes.
I have overreached my own
Hmm.
boundaries. It's time to
Yes.
reel it in, get quiet, center myself,
Yeah.
and refocus on me and what's important. And I think
Yeah.
that that's a word for real. For real.
Hmm. Yeah.
For real. Oh, yes. Yes. I so can relate to a
Yeah.
lot of that. And I think, I'm sure a lot of women can.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we feel like we say, oh, and we are independent, but I feel
Mhm.
like when it comes to giving ourselves that permission to do things, it's something about it that it's a very dependent mindset. I
Yes.
don't fully understand that. But it's like a unspoken, I need somebody to silently tell me that it's okay,
Yeah.
instead of, like, validating that for yourself. Like, no, I
Yes.
said it's okay. It's okay because I said it.
Mhm. Exactly. And a lot of people aren't, because they're getting everything that they want. So they get to sit back and just, and I realized that. So, and I had to start utilizing that no is a complete sentence. And,
Yes.
for me, it was with my family, then now we negotiate. I'll say no. So I had to start saying my no is not negotiable. What it's going to end up
Mm.
doing is putting you on the block and delete list for a minute. So
Mhm.
don't, when I tell you no, it's a no. When I say I'm only open for emergencies, and then I have to define what an emergency is, because poor planning on your part that's became an emergency for you is no longer an emergency for
Yes.
me. That's your
Nope.
emergency. If your
Mm-hmm.
health is compromised or you're stranded out there in the street or something like that, that's a real emergency. But just, oh, I forgot to do this and now this deadline and I can't do it and I need you to assist. That's your emergency. I'm
Yes,
not
yes,
available
yes,
for
yes.
that. I RSVP no to that. But thanks
Uh-huh.
for the invite. It's a
Yes,
no.
my niece told me like a few months ago, and I still say it. She was like, when people get on my nerves or ask me to do stuff I don't want to do, and I love it. She 18 years old with the bringing the wisdom. She was like, I tell people, oh, I'm no, thank you, I'm full. I
Exactly. Exactly.
was like,
E-
Mira, oh, I'm stealing that, so I be doing that
Yes,
too. Like, oh no, thank you, I'm full. Mm-mm,
exactly.
I'm full.
Exactly. She's right though. Out the mouth of
I was
babes.
like, I love that. Like, yes, because realistically, you are full. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
literally, you're full,
Hmm.
whether it's mentally, you don't have the capacity, physically, you don't have the capacity and energy, whatever it is, I'm full. And even if I'm not full on that, I'm just no. Like you
Yes,
said, it's a
exactly.
complete sentence and it's non-negotiable. No.
Hmm. That's it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right, so one last question because I always like to ask people this one.
Okay.
What is one or the best investment that you've made so far?
Ooh,
Could be anything.
I would have to say my best investment to date, and it started probably in 2019, was really investing in my personal and spiritual growth.
Mm,
Getting coaches. I mean, you hear it online, they say it's a cliche. I have 3 coaches, and I that was the best investment. I have seen myself grow financially, professionally, personally in ways that I know that I could not have done by myself.
mm.
So
Yes.
that's the best investment.
I love that. I love that. And it's where you invest too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That those types of investments bring you exponential, grow you exponentially because you
Yes, it
just,
does.
you know, it's like having a therapist. It's like some stuff you know and some stuff you don't know. If you've never been there, you don't know what it looks
Mm-hmm.
like, you've never experienced it, is
Exactly.
you can figure it out and navigate it, but you're gonna, it's gonna cost
They
you
kind of
time.
streamline it. Yeah, they have the map, they streamline it for you. So I
Yeah.
don't have to knock my head against the wall for the next 10 years because they already did that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you, Sherry, for joining me. This was so
Oh,
good.
yes, this was so much fun. Thank you.
No problem. Tell people where they can find you and if you have anything coming out.
Okay, so actually, I do. I have my book right now. We're in pre-launch. Girl, Get Up and Move, More Than a Conqueror. The pre-launch is going on now, so you can just follow me at Ask Nurse Sherry on Instagram, Facebook. It's Sherry Ask Sherry RN on Twitter, and you'll be able to get a copy of my book and health and wellness coaching and have a few other things coming out, but that's what's coming up right now.
All right, awesome. And I will make sure I get all those links from you and put them
Yes,
in the description of the YouTube video. And they'll be on the show notes on the on my website for the podcast. So you can just will be able to go to either one of those 2 places if you didn't remember that and
yes,
find, in one click and find Sherry and all her goodness.
yes,
So thanks again, Sherry. I appreciate you coming on. This was a great conversation.
yes, it was. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
All right.